welcome, everybody, to the first, I guess, the inaugural Altered Perception podcast, a podcast specifically for fans of Outriders, I would say. I don't know how many of these there are going to be, which is why I ended up calling it Chapter 1. But I am joined by three people who are in the scene, fellow content creators, and I would say enjoyers of Outriders. Here, of course, we have ChaosprimeZ, who is a content creator on YouTube, but also streams on Twitch. That is the same and true for LtBuzzLiteBeer. And then, of course, Bozzified, I think, needs no introduction, really. A person that is very critical to a tool that we really enjoy in the community due to the lack of really an in-game way for us to essentially track builds and all of that. Bozzified has stepped up and created Outriders Outpost, which is this fantastic tool that allows you to have builds together and essentially store all of your information. And we are on the cusp of a new version of this tool, this site being launched. Guys, thank you so much for making the time. I appreciate you all being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, so I I was dabbling with the idea of how we should structure this thing, and what I thought to myself was, I mean, if we sort of just started with, I guess, like, you know, the things that we thought, you know, how it was going to turn out in terms of worldslayer, and essentially now that we've got a couple of weeks of worldslayer behind us, and just essentially what we thought was good with the launch of the game and sort of like the game state that we are in right now. And I know that's a super broad topic to ask questions about, and it touches on a bunch of things like, you know, like grinding and this and that and everything. But I think for me, if I just start, for me, it's a case of it's a game that I thoroughly enjoy. So more of the game is always going to be a good thing. And of course, we had those launch issues and everything like that, which I think a lot of us was. I think the launch screen was the most watched thing on Twitch for a while, which I thought was thoroughly enjoyable. And it was, you know what it was, though, that I really enjoyed is that we all suffered together. Like, there was this moment of camaraderie where we all sort of like, you know, and it was this whole thing of people were coming into my chat going like, dude, like this guy just got in. And I was like, oh shit, okay, I have to try again and everything. But I mean, how did you guys experience? I mean, Chaos, if we start with you first, I mean, like for you, I mean, obviously you were there at the launch. I know that you played in the beta as well.
Yep. So for me, I kind of expected there to be day one launch issues. I mean, I haven't seen a day one issue not be there. The only one that didn't have it was Destiny 2 Witch Queen, but they also excluded 104 million PS4 users from day one access. So yeah, that's probably why that was. So I mean, we all sat there, got in, excited, overjoyed, and then kicked, and then got in again, and then kicked, and then got like 2 hours of gameplay in before I finally said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow when everyone and their grandma isn't trying to hit on those servers."
Sure. I mean, that's really the thing with this sometimes. Buzz, yourself, I mean, this hit you like in the morning, right? If you were playing from the States, this was like 11 in the morning or something, right? 9 in the morning?
No? Yeah, 6 p.m. for me.
So yeah, if it was 6 p.m. for you guys over there, it was probably, I think it was noon for us.
Okay.
Oh, man, I was so hyped for that. I was so hyped for that. I played it up so big with my community. I was so ready for it. And I went in there and it was just, you know, loading. And then all of a sudden it would go to like a different screen that you had. And you were like, yes.
It's like every time you're making it one rung up the ladder further. You know?
Like, oh, this is great. And then it was connecting to server and then it was crash. And I was like, oh. Yeah. So I had the techie and I was playing on the techie, and then I wanted to show everyone because the techie was already because, you know, we had early access. Sure. I was already at Taria Gratar and I didn't want to quite like go blasting into that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to switch over to my dev. I'm going to show you guys some of this early gameplay crash. And then, you know, 5 minutes later, people were coming into the chat telling me, hey, don't do that, man. Don't switch characters. So it was a roller coaster. Yeah, it was straight up and straight down for 6 hours that day.
Similar issue to me. Like we had Sorry, go ahead.
No. I know. I just wanted to say, like, the thing about it is though that it's, at least I felt like the reason why I kept trying, and this is by no means time to blow smoke or anything like that, but the thing is because I had experienced the beta. I was so excited to just get more of it, and I was so excited to play it in front of people, and to actually play it alongside people, and have people go, "Yo, dude, this is like, like some of the stuff you said, like this works like this now. This is cool." So that's the thing. I mean, you gotta think about it this way. Like if it's something that you're banging your head at the whole time to get it, it has to be worth it, right? In a way. So, sorry, Chaos, you were saying?
No, I was gonna say like when I signed in, me and two others were trying to sign in at the same time, so we're trying to kind of like trio it. By this point, I'd already finished the story, but I reverted it back to the beginning. So there's me logged in eventually, and the other two can't log in. They log in for like 2 minutes. They get into the first part of the game, run past the first corner, boom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I continue and leave them, or do I wait? Do I continue?
The eternal dilemma right there.
Do I be a jerk and continue, or do I...
No, I mean in those times, dude, it's women and children first, man. Men, you gotta just could finish what you do. Boz, now, I mean, with you, I know that you are, and Boz is here with us in spirit. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the camera on, but I do believe he is here with us. And I mean, for you, I think you were probably so deeply entrenched in working on Outriders app at that time, right?
Well, I mean,
did you play at launch?
Well, no, I mean, I haven't touched the game since it released, but just because, like, I'm trying to get this because I've been working with Square and PCF for like 3 months before the release of the game. So I've seen the game, I played the game, whatever, and then betas and all that stuff. So
sure.
I worked on the app like 3 months before the actual release, and then what happened is I knew that the changes were coming on the launch, but I did not expect personally the level of changes that they've done, because they've basically adjusted everything, like all the mods, all the guns, everything, like everything changed, like literally. It had nothing to do with anything we've played up to that point. Like, to give an example, like the what's the name of the mod? My brain stopped now, but like the one that gives you like
I know exactly how you feel.
Bullets,
I have the same problem.
That bullets do more damage. Just a plain, it's a tier 2 mod.
Oh, like Killing Spree or something?
No. It was just a regular one with the bullets. Just gives you assault weapon.
Just like additional 12% additional assault weapon.
Yeah,
something like that.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So that mod in the very first dum bullets in the very first incarnation of worldslayer, it was like 20%. From 10%, and it was a very noticeable difference in everything. So
yeah, I mean that's a massive
difference. And it was 20% up to the release, literally up to the release. Like we've played, like 20% all throughout, the months.
No, exactly. I mean, we did early access those first days before, that we got
and on the day one,
the
day one, they changed it, and they dropped it to 12. And they did that with every single thing they've done in the game. So it was a pretty big shock, because even though I'm like in touch with I was in touch with PCF and Square.
Yes.
I still did not, like, they don't tell me literally everything.
Sure.
What they're gonna do. So.
So let me ask you this, boss. Like, you touched on something interesting for me now, and without getting too technical, right? But as I understand it, you don't have API access for the data for the app. You create everything manually.
Right. So the big issue is like, and we've talked about it. Like I've talked with Toby and Square and about that months ago, and they really tried to push towards the API so I can help create features that they might not have resources or time to do, like loadouts, or stuff like that, which I could do if I had an API.
Yeah.
The problem is like making an API is also a massive undertaking, because people think it's just like, you can just plug it in, but that's not how it works. You have to like make sure that the authentication with all the services, everybody from Xbox, from Sony, from Steam, from Stadia can you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no, it's a big deal. I get it.
It's a far bigger issue. So for the app, I literally just went through, like, a lot of the stuff I get from PCF, but
but it's a
a lot of the stuff
exercise.
I can't. A lot of the stuff I can. Like, for example, the first version of Outriders Outpost that I released, it was really just a love project. Like, I spent like 2.5 months just collecting that. Nobody even knew that the app was coming, and I just kind of did the first very rough calculator app, and that people loved that. And I said, like, I'm just gonna try to make a builder that's gonna actually be nice to use. And then I just banged it out, like, literally, like, it took me maybe like a few weeks, 2-3 weeks to kind of make the builder itself, but it took me like 2.5 months to collect all the data from the game. And that was when I had no contact with Square or PCF or anyone. And so that was really and then when the worldslayer started, then I was like, okay, like, now people love this, and it's very useful to people to do, because even for me, like, when I use the tool myself, like, you can save the builds, and then you can remind yourself what you used before, and stuff like, like, it's just it's a multiple kind of
it's just
value, right?
For me, right, like, it started from this whole calculation thing that you bought, right, but it's turned into this Frankenstein monster that literally has, from at least what I've seen, like, not even double, triple, or quadruple the functionality and everything. And I mean, that's obviously the sheer amount of time that you've spent into building into this. And what was interesting to me now is that you said that obviously because you've been doing that so much, you actually haven't had time to play the game. And that just coming onto the topic.
Well, I'm tier 27. I'm tier 27 on my techno before the release.
Yes,
and that 100%. I got to tier 27 before the release, because I had like 2 weeks to just kind of get to the closest. I mean, that was supposed to be the release version of Outriders.
Exactly. So you figured everything was good. I can play games. I don't have to worry about this.
Well, I mean, no, I can go through the game, complete it and see and make sure that all the numbers that I had in the database and everything for the app matched, what I've collected over time.
Sure.
And so in that process, like, I got to like about tier 27.
Okay.
And I got my ass whooped, to be honest with you. Like, it was, I could not kill a solo like before, like in every
it gets rough
version of it before it. Like, I had no problems, but then like in this version, like, I come to Arbiter and he just slaps my cheeks like nobody's business. I mean, it was just I could not kill him.
A rough situation for sure.
I could not kill him, and I didn't know, what it was. And then I stopped at tier 27 because I started focusing on just wrapping up the app. So my plan was to launch it with the release of worldslayer, or at least like a couple of days after.
Sure.
But then the big bomb came along, and then they did the big day one patch, and it was just it just threw me in the loop for as far as like certain things, because you gotta understand right now, like the initial Outriders app that I did that has the builder that's live right now that's gonna be replaced, that one is literally like a lot of the stuff is manual. So that means that I have all the armor pieces and everything, I capped them at 50. So I read all the values at 50, right, before. And then I just put that in descriptions, right? I didn't, there's no like any calculations. The Outriders 2 right now that is going to be released, this one, I've built like PCF basically. Everything is getting calculated. So like if you select an average like level of, 53, it's going to show you in your builds and your visuals and everything the values of all the mods at that level, right? Like, and the reason why I did that was because I wanted to bring, in addition to what we have now with the editor, I wanted to bring a build analyzer feature, which everybody was asking for, and there was nothing like that, which would basically allow you to go into the app, make a build, pick the mods, right? And then you have a button that says analyze the build, and then you hit that, and it's gonna slide out like a statistics panel, and it's gonna show you like your damage outputs, like, and then you can in
and like
real
the
time,
changes that you made, it'll show you like the
right,
effect of those changes.
right,
Gotcha,
and in the real time, this new system, the backend that I've built the whole backend for this. Now I can just adjust the multipliers when PCF changes them, but I don't have to change the code. The code stays the same. I just change the multipliers. And now, like, let's say you go and change a mod and you put a mod that or attribute that does cooldown reduction. You hit build analyzer. That's gonna affect your whole like chart of your analyzer of the build, like how low your cooldowns are, like everything like that. So the idea was to create a tool that's going to be really useful for you to analyze when you start making builds. Like, you're gonna be actually seeing how it's gonna perform in the game, right?
Yeah.
And then you just go and you try it in the game, right? Like,
that's very ambitious, and I think I mean, Buzz, Chaos, you guys need to also just maybe see if you agree with me here. But of course, at this moment in time, the game is a massive time sink in terms of like not only grinding out apocalypse tiers, right, and ascension levels, but the real end game is resources. And sometimes committing resources to a build only to realize like it ain't really that great is a massive blow, right? And I think that this feature, it seems like this is gonna alleviate some of that burn, I would say. I mean, that's just the feeling that I get.
Well, my honestly, like, even though I have not really played it since release, I've watched Buzz play it, I watched you play it, I watched everyone play it because I'm pretty active with the community. I watch all of you guys, in your streams, and it's one of the things that I found very problematic in the early stages, and Buzz can, and Chaos can say to that. But even in betas, we specifically gave feedback that one of the big problems is going to be like anomaly extracts, right? Like, like initially it was a problem was with the dropout resources, right? And then they completely flipped the switch in beta 2, and
it went the other way, right?
Went the other way, and like, as soon as I saw that personally, like, I made my comments to them, and I said, this is a problem because I can't catch up. Like, there's no way for me to catch up and try. Like,
it's a very good way of putting it, man.
My like, as someone who can jump in right now and play, like, I found like a piece of gear that was like, let's say at tier 20, right? And that piece of gear is like 53, right? And then I start playing. I am basically locked into one set because I can't even upgrade that one piece of gear to my current level in order to try something different, right? And that was that to me. Everything else I can overlook, but that is the big issue that I have. That I'm sure that they're looking at now and rectifying. But
hopefully,
it was always a problem. We all told them, like, right from the beginning, like, that's gonna be an issue because people can't catch up.
Yeah.
Like, people like Buzz or you or whatever, you guys are gonna be grinding the game, so you're gonna play so much that it doesn't matter.
The grind doesn't help.
Casual,
I mean, grind doesn't help. I feel everything is okay up until like about level 28. Like around 28, like Apocalypse 28, running up to 30, it starts getting like rough. Because then you really have to, and I mean, we're gonna get to that topic later on when we talk about things like, grinding Arbiter 2, for instance. But the point is, like speaking about time though, and I want to get Chaos and Buzz's input here. What kind of time are you committing at the moment right now? And I mean, guys, feel free to go first, whomever. But what level of time are you committing at the moment right now to play? And with the obvious goal of, are you just playing right now to enjoy the game because you have a build in mind that you're trying to perfect, or are you producing content and make videos? Because that's more difficult, right? When you are farming out for builds, it's just so much pressure on the resources and having to grind it out. So what level of commitment are you guys seeing from your sides at the moment right now?
Well, for me, I don't see APOC 40 as like a really big thing. My build isn't changing from APOC 30, where I am right now, to APOC 40. All that's changing is the amount of APOC gear I'm going to get. The percentage is increasing, and nothing else is really changing. There is
it also depends on your build though, because higher levels scales your anomaly and your firepower and stuff like that. So depending on which mods and stuff you use, you actually scale better later on, and your damage profile can increase, quite significantly later on in the game. But I understand what you're saying. The basic line is you have the fundamentals of your build laid out. You have the blueprint. It's done. So now it's just knocking down the gates, basically.
Yeah. I roughly spend about 20-25 hours a week playing Outriders with a couple friends, but I'm in no rush to get to that end game.
Get to the 40, the big 40.
To get to that 40. I'm kind of enjoying the experience. I'm making my content as I'm going along, and so far from when I actually finally perfected my build, I think it was around APOC 24 when I finally got the pieces. I mean, there's still 2 pieces I'm missing that will never drop. It's just never gonna happen,
never, baby.
I mean, I got so close, so close. One mod ruined me. One mod, but I'm just kind of going along, and if I see that at APOC 32 that things are going to change, then I'll react to it that way. But as of right now, I'm just enjoying it as I'm going along as a player and a content creator.
Sure. I mean, not to summarize what you're saying in any way, but basically, the gist that I'm getting, and I like that, is the idea of like it's a good way to avoid burnout, right? Because I feel like if you are actively chasing the 40, and I'm speaking about not circumventing the full grind to 40 in any way. If you're actively chasing that 40, that's a rough grind. That's a lot of time. And I think if you try to just push that hard the whole time, it could potentially, I mean, everybody has different tolerance levels, right? But it's probably going to lead to some form of burnout. I mean, Buzz,
to me, it will.
I know that you are. I'm going to call you a variety content creator. Please don't kill me, but I think that's a fair thing. I don't think you tie yourself to one specific game or one specific genre. Not to say that we do, but the point is that I know that you cover a wide variety of games. So, like, how are you going right now? Do you have your main that you're trying to push all the way? Are you just kind of like enjoying the game with buddies? Like, what's happening for you right now?
I'm probably right now playtime, because I actually stream it 3 times a week too, for about 3 hours each session. So that's about 9 hours of playtime a week, and I maybe add on another 2. So I'm about 11 hours a week now.
Sure.
So I've really scaled back. My techno, the tech moniker is just flat set up. It's ready to go. It's completely where I need it. I have all the right mods. Everything's good to go. APOC 33 is where I'm at with that.
That's really where you start hitting a wall, though. Like 33, 34, 35, it goes like the tap turns off completely.
What I'm finding difficult is I'm looking at it, and I want to be able to bring my dev over. I want to be able to bring my trick over, and even my pyro. And then I look at that grind and the amount of time and everything like that, and I'm like, no, I just don't want to. So whereas I was up there with the likes of the heavy build creators when original Outriders launched, I pretty much just resigned myself to I'm going to do general reporting on the game because I still love the game, but trying to keep up with people that can grind 16, 18 hours a day to get the right gear piece. I can't compete with that. I don't have that kind of time. So maybe 6 months from now, I'll have my first dev video ready for, something. I don't know,
and
but
we'll be waiting for it patiently. Yeah, bro. Let's go.
First comment I get is "dead game," spelled but DED.
Dead game. Dude, you're not wrong. I mean, that's. Are you still playing this? You're like, yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
But where I really struggled with the techno was when I brought it over, is I had that just flat the best toxic techno build coming out of challenge tier 15s. It was ready to go, and I ran through the campaign with that, and it was just easy. It was so easy with that build.
Even with the nerfs, the adjustments.
Even with
right?
them, that thing was just destroying the content on whatever the highest APOC it would let me at the time, because I had it on auto.
You went straight into
adjust.
16 then, and then you just shot up.
Yeah, I went straight up. Once I hit trials, though, oh man, because I could not get boots for the Borealis. They just wouldn't drop for me on APOC. So I ended up having to upgrade my standard boots, the 2 mod boots. I think it was
old
8 times, 8 times or 9 times. And I was cursing the game because I couldn't get enough anomaly extract to do it. So I ended up doing I did a farming video, where to find anomaly extract, go hit the horse bosses just over and over.
You covered Haurus, which is like my baby, dude. Haurus is the OG, and Haurus is really good. Like as long as you don't make the mistake of doing it while you actually have some Apocalypse XP, because dying to Haurus actually deletes your Apocalypse XP.
Yeah, you leave it. Yeah.
So but I ended up at the beginning of the bar, but yeah.
It drove me nuts, and then I readjusted my build. I basically tabled that whole toxic techno, and I went techmonger, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, here we go. And now I have 20, 30, 40,000 of everything kind of stocked up on the character. Yeah. But yeah, just you look at that, and as Boz was kind of alluding to, if I go in there, if I start going down the road, and then I find out this is not the way to go, that's expensive. Yes. Because if you then switch over to a different build concept and start breaking down that gear, you don't get those resources back, and it's no. That is brutal.
Well, you see, like one of the biggest issues is, I understand why they did it. I mean, like when I started playing Worldslayer way before, like everything felt so good, because in beta 1, for example, normally extracts are a lot more plentiful, right? And it was a lot more fun going through, even with the limit of having one end game activity, right? It was still more fun because you could get to the higher tiers and then do different builds and try out different things
because you could afford it. Because you could afford it.
And one of the main things that I found that was a mistake is they really wanted to kind of they were in a pickle, right? They wanted to release Worldslayer to give longevity to the game, right? So they wanted to make okay, you guys can play a little bit longer, the end game, but you're gonna get rewarded with gear and farming, loot here and targeted farming and all that stuff, right? Yeah. And I understand that, and that was actually a good move. The problem was with the balancing of the resources. They went from what made Outriders incredible, which is build making, right, to something that is pure mind-numbing grind of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's be honest here. I love Outriders. I mean, I just it's one of those games. I don't play a lot of games. Mm-hmm. I pick one game and I stick to it. Sure. I'm older dude, so I don't, I don't really care about, trying different games. Sure. So I played Destiny for 8 years, right? And then when Outriders came out, I loved Outriders so much that I'm building apps for it. So it's
exactly. You couldn't love something more than you love it, dude.
Right. And the fact is that whole feeling that we all had when we started playing Outriders originally was that feeling when you start going through the campaign, you get new mods and you try them out and you get these builds and you see how it slaps and you're excited and then you start mixing things up and you get this other piece of gear, you level it up, you try it out. You know what I mean? Sure. That experience with the desire to extend the grind or the longevity of the game, they've killed that best part of Outriders basically. And I'm sure that they're going to rectify it because they're already seeing
they have to.
Yeah. Because nobody's going to even the biggest content creators that are grinding this is what takes us to the controversy of using trainers and all these other things, is because people want to get to 40, to make sure that they have they're the high tier, but they can't get there because they have to grind for so long. So they're forced basically to use everything they can to get there, right? And it's and in the content creator space, I'm not a content creator per se, Like I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not a streamer, but
Mhm.
the reality is that's bread and butter for a lot of people, right? Like
Sure.
they're on
I
streams,
still want to
and
stoop that low though.
and you know, like some people have a little bit less ethics, some more,
Yes.
you know,
Sure.
but the reality is, like, I couldn't do it, I couldn't use it because that's the way I am. Like I want
Sure.
to get to whatever I'm doing legit. Like I don't want to take
Yeah.
shortcuts. But you
So,
know, but
I
that's
mean,
it.
before
Yeah.
we go down that rabbit hole, and not to say that that's a taboo topic, we're not going to talk about it, but I think it's a very valid thing, and it's certainly an extremely hot topic in the community right now. Specifically for me, I Outriders to me is a completely different experience now in Worldslayer than it was in vanilla. And it's simply due to the fact that I am of course a build channel, and I grind the ever loving fuck out of this game. Sorry, I'm honest. That's just how it is. So I clock on an average of between 9 and 11 hours a day, and that's it's
Jesus.
it's a it's
Wow.
a an insane amount. And so the point is that when I was maintaining that level of schedule with vanilla Outriders, it allowed me to do things like making 3 fully functional builds a week, which is a ridiculous schedule, first of all, but it allowed me to experiment and swap pieces out and go crazy and do everything like that. And at the moment right now, what I can do right now is I can put out what I would consider a fully functional, because I hate making a build video and going like, yeah, I got 2 dead mods on this thing, and I've had to do this twice now. I hate doing that. I want to put out something that's fully functional, that I don't go, yeah, well, actually, you should be looking for this, you should be looking for that, everything like that. Because I just feel like then at some point later, I'm going to have to revisit this project again and go like, yeah, well, you know what now? This is version 2.0, baby. You know, I got the thing now. So this has changed it completely for me. And
Well, it's
that's,
the fun factor, right? It's the
Yeah.
fun factor because, like, when you were doing 3 builds, 3 builds in a week,
yeah.
what gave you fun factor, right?
Yes. Yeah. I
It
enjoyed it.
killed the monotone same expeditions over
Yes,
and over
because
again.
it would be a
using
build from
different builds.
each different character, so I wouldn't be tired of, damn, I just grinded like, Technomancer for 8 days straight to
Right.
make the upgrade material so that I could upgrade the thing. But okay, that it is what it is. I think we're all impacted by this in sort of similar ways. I think we've all resigned to the fact that something that we enjoyed with the vanilla, meaning that you had 6 or 4 characters fully maxed out with your meta builds and whatever you want to call it, or stacked out with everything that you have, is really like,
Not happening.
I think it's a damn near impossibility right now. Is the way that I would put it.
I mean,
And it's a sad thing because I'm not gonna lie, I loved looking at my stable, baby. I loved looking at my stable of characters with everything that it had and everything. And I don't know, even if I see, and guys, by the way, I actually want to mention this. So sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here, but thank you so much to everybody that's chatting and everything like that. And I really do try to make this also interactive to the audience. And I know that we haven't directly responded to any of the questions, but I'm trying to weave it into some of the dialogue and everything like that as well. But I think even if they have the requirement, I still don't think we're there. I still don't think it does it. And that's why I feel bad, because I'm not gonna sit here and say I have the solution, because I don't. But dividing everything by half doesn't solve the problem. That's the unfortunate, at least that's how I feel.
I mean, I think
But,
at least they
yeah.
should make the APOC account wide. The APOC rank. That should at least be account wide. Because if it wasn't
that's
for
a fair point.
my friends who actually play Techno and Pyro,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to put those class builds on my on my YouTube channel. They were kind enough to share their builds with me and talk me through what they were, and I was able to put them up. But with the way the current situation is, I don't have the time to deviate from my Devastator to go pick up a Pyro or a Techno or a Trickster and start leveling the APOC level up. I just don't have that time.
I feel you.
But the thing is, I don't think it's an issue with having an account-wide APOC tiers. It's an issue with a super slow XP and anomaly extracts. That's what's killing you. That's what's making you, like, if the XP was slightly increased and anomaly extracts were up, like, you would be able to get to 40 in a little bit less time, with different builds, which would make it fun for you to play the other characters as well from start. Like for me personally, like I have one character that has started with Techno, and now when I go back, when I release the app and I go back and start playing actually for fun, like I'm gonna probably go with the Pyro now, and like
Good
I'm
choice,
gonna push
sir.
Pyro.
Good choice.
I'm gonna push Pyro because they nerfed the crap out of Techno, so I wanna try
Come
FP
over
Pyro
to the dark
now.
side,
But
baby. Come on.
but the reality is, I think I would grind all 4 characters
Yeah,
if it was
I would too.
made, if they would cut that time and make it a little bit easier to get the gear, try different things, because that's what made me in the original Outriders, right?
Sure.
I played all 4 characters just to try out their abilities and
Yeah.
make different builds, and that's what made it fun for me.
But
It
then
wasn't.
you've hit the other issue here, gear. With the new APEC, APOC mod 3rd slot, which you can't change, can't manipulate in any way. You now have to kind of rely on RNG to land that perfect mod, and then hope one of the 2 mods that are on there are a mod that you actually want, and then have to rely on the actual stats, whether it's firepower
Can I be
or
honest
anomaly
with you?
power.
That doesn't bother me that much because and this is not me trying to be controversial or anything like that, but I think someone spending the time and farming out a piece of gear versus someone else that on the second spin of Tiago they get the piece of gear that they're looking for. I think both of them deserve what they got because RNG is the game. It's sometimes the dice rolls in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. My issue is that we know that there's a bunch of systems baked into the game, and any of you that have like messed around with Tiago or messed around at a certain tier for a long time will see that you get repeated drops with the same tier 3 showing up. So they've pocketed a lot of these tier 3 mods to drop at certain levels and to drop in certain combinations. There's a fantastic Reddit sheet that someone, I wish I remember, and guys, if anybody in chat remembers this person's name,
Yeah,
because I
that's
would like to give
deliberate.
him.
That's a deliberate thing. They did that deliberately.
Yes.
Based
So
on the
that's supposed
APOC
to help
tiers.
you, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to help you to get the right mods that you're looking for. But there's a person on Reddit that has compiled an Excel file with some testing with this, and it's a community-funded project. But of course, they're collecting information, and it's an interesting read because you can see how this stuff is like gated to drop in certain ways, and it's definitely. It's a move, I think, from People Can Fly's side to just take a little bit of the bite out of the RNG out of it. But sometimes, it's not going to be your lucky day at the casino, is what I'm saying. And then other
But I feel
times,
like it's extended the grind. I feel like it's made the RNG.
You
that
can't
bit
get the
more.
good. You can't get that piece you need of a mod on your tier, no matter how much you grind. That's the biggest problem. What Chaos is saying is like
Yeah.
if I go and let's say that
no,
I'm
I understand.
tier
You're gated,
25, right?
behind the apocalypse
Right.
tier. I get it, 100%.
Right.
I get what
Right.
you're saying.
Right.
I get what you're
Right.
saying.
Because in the previous
And
system, it was 2 pieces.
maybe that needs to be explained better to people. I mean, that's a fair point.
Yeah, because in the previous system,
Right.
in vanilla, it was just 2 mods, right? So as long as you got one mod that was right,
You were good to
could
go,
manipulate. You manipulate
Yes.
the second mod.
Sure.
Now you need to get 2 mods right,
Yes.
which is a lot more difficult. Add to that the way they want you to play the game is to chop and change your gear until you get to 40. That was their vision. If you read,
which costs more resources, and we're back at the
well, it
beginning of
wouldn't
this
cost you a
whole
resource.
argument again.
But it wouldn't cost you the resource because what they want you to do is, as you're leveling up in the APOC tier,
They want you to replace it.
just replace your gear with something else and try different builds. Their vision was that you would basically be trying maybe a firepower build on Devastator, then switching to an anomaly or maybe a hybrid and just changing it up
Chaos.
The whole time. Yeah.
Chaos, you're 100%. You're 100%. That's exactly what they wanted. That's exactly what they wanted.
Us as players aren't going to do that. We're going to find that build that works for us, that we've fallen in love with, and we're going to go all the way with that build. We may want to deviate and try something new and something different along the way, and we'll save a couple of pieces here and there to test out with. But our bread and butter is going to be that build, and we're going to be relying on the
because
resources
again, it's
that we
about
don't have.
efficiency. It's about efficiency.
Mhm.
You can't be efficient by swapping out pieces the whole time because again, it all comes down to like how much resources can you get in an hour, how much gear can you get to drop in an hour, how far can you progress in an hour, and I know that some people's like they it's not just about that, but the hamster wheel is in there somewhere. You're looking for some form of progression, and so you need to progress through it like that. And so you will choose, people by general will choose the path of least resistance. And so the path of least resistance is the build that you know that works, and you know it's firepower. So why the hell should you switch to anomaly and do this because you know that this works? Maybe it would have been in your benefit to switch, but the point is that exactly like you said right now, you know what works. You have the build that works, and so you wanna go with that, and that's the thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing is we didn't have to do that in betas though. That's the thing.
No, because we
it was a very similar approach, but we still could try out different builds and have more fun. You see what I'm saying? Like once we started getting to tier 35, a new gear started dropping with different mods, right? And we could afford them to level them up and try them out. And that's the thing. I'm just curious to hear, Buzz. You've played betas and stuff like that before, right? What's your feeling right now from playing? Because I haven't played the release version so much. What's your feeling? What's your take and feeling of playing the beta 1, beta 2, and like all these previous ones, and what you're playing right now in release?
Well, I purposely did not play either of the betas because I wanted to go into the game fresh and just have no idea what was going on. So the only thing that I did was that early capture event where we played like, I don't know, the first part of the campaign where you're outside, you take on the giant beast. But basically what you're talking about right now is the fact that between APOC XP being so throttled, it's so difficult to level up. As you said, measure when you get up to like 35, then they start to change up the different combinations. Anatar, I believe, is the name that you're looking for, is the one that put that spreadsheet out. He did a ton of testing. Anatar, he's actually a mod in my Discord. Super
phenomenal effort by that person. I'm just saying.
Yes, super knowledgeable. He lives in the world of Excel. And he lives to farm and just test out things. And basically what he did is he went and he started farming these areas just back to back to back to back. And he started to see those same combinations popping up over and over and over again. What I have an issue with the game is, number one, everything is very costly. And even though I have a ton of resources, if I go in and I take I don't know, one of my legendaries right now, and I go from APOC 34 to 30, 33 to 34. What is that? 150, 200,000 drop pod resources. It's 5,000 to 7,000 anomaly extract, et cetera, et cetera. It's expensive to experiment. Sure. Number two is, and I think we were kind of going down that road, is the fact that I can't reliably take my build to the next level, that techmonger, until I get those epic pieces. And those just don't drop in the trials. They don't drop in expeditions. You have to go, it becomes a farming simulator on the vendors every half an hour or hour and a half.
Which is also not rewarding at all.
It's not.
Don't forget, in the original game, we could also upgrade gear.
Right.
So we could upgrade gear and then get different mods that way.
That's completely gone. It's completely gone. I can't tailor my, if I'm, most people out there are subjugated now to all legendary builds, right? You got it. They got 5 pieces of Lego.
At least that way you control 2 of the mods coming in.
Right. So, but then you run into the issue, and Anatar found this out as well. And we had Toby in chat the other day on stream. Those
also have fixed roles, right?
They have there's a small loot pool for the APOC tiers.
Yes.
So like, for instance, Captain Hunter will only appear on the chest piece. Unstoppable Force will only appear on the boots.
Which is a problem.
Yeah, they're like, no, that isn't the case. And we're like, that is the case.
No, it's 100% the case, dude.
Yeah. So you are completely limited. You are looking for that needle, not in a stack of, in a haystack. It's in a needle in a stack of needles.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like, if I want to have any adjustment on my Techmonger chest piece, I wanted Captain Hunter, it's got to be in the APOC slot. So where in theory Apocalypse tier looks great on paper, like it was going to add a whole new dimension to build crafting and options, it's actually shrunk us down now into singular streams for each build. Like Techmonger, you build it like this, or
which
you know,
again kills build diversity, right? And it creates this weird thing where you can look at someone that has completely min-maxed a build, and if you do the same thing, you're gonna have the same apocalypse tiers in the same slots.
Yes,
which theoretically should not be possible.
Right.
And you know what I noticed too is I noticed when I played, and like I noticed that all of my builds that I tried during the betas, because I played with Pyromancer and a Technomancer, and just before the release, early access, I found myself noticing that all of my pieces were legendary. Okay? Because it was much easier to get the legendary piece, that has that third mod that I need. So what does that do for you, right? Well, it does several things that does not benefit you. That means that every single legendary piece that you're gonna have that mod you need as an APOC mod, right? But your cost for upgrading that legendary piece to keep on going is going to be impossible, because once you get to tier 30, all of your like one upgrade level for one piece is going to cost you 2,500 anomaly extract. Exactly. And I did the math right before the release. Like I did the math. Like it took you 18 trial runs to upgrade all of your pieces of gear one level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was just too much. You know.
And I think you know, you hit the nail on the head, full measure, when you said, you know, this game used to be about build diversity.
It was,
and it's no longer the case anymore. They've completely killed the build diversity. I mean, I can understand if this was like, say, a live service game where they'll release periodic events where they'll, you know, flood us with anomaly extracts during those, and then, you know, we'll hit those events hard, those mini seasonal events to, you know, stock up on those, because that's like a good way to do it, to flood us with that stuff. But we're not going to get any of that. We're not getting, you know, this is, as they keep on saying, a retail one and done game, and this is basically the package. So, you know, they need to introduce a way where we can get those. I mean, maybe they can give us the same treatment that they gave, you know, pods with Tiago, or with Tiago, where you can just go and exchange titanium, because God only knows we've got a metric ton of titanium from all the stuff we're building.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. You know, like I really love the guys in PCF. I mean, I'm not saying this for. I've never seen a game developer that is so passionate and creative about doing stuff. Like I give them all the, like I've played Destiny for 8 years. I mean, the level of detail they put into these armor sets and how they look and how they, you know, like it's just it's a creativity on a different level. Like in Destiny, I get like a piece that looks like nothing, like crap, like it just, and that's like your reward for endgame activity. You know what I mean? Like that's like PCF. And also communicating with them and with the people that are doing these things, like and building these things, right? Like yeah, exactly. Arcs and PCF arcs and stuff like that. Yeah. These people are the ones that design the gameplay, and you know how they feel about it, and it hurts them really badly when they see that they kind of miss the point, right? Like I mean, it's so I am 100% sure that they will rectify this. The only issue is that the game is not a live service game, as Chaos says. There's no events that will keep the people coming back. So it's like one of those things where it's going to be a bust for like, you know, 3 weeks, and then it's going to drop down, and then people just like, you know, it's going to be very hard to get people back to play it unless they make the grind. You know, and even then they're gonna lose half of the people, right?
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, and that's the real shame, is it's not that they're bad, you know. I just think that's kind of
that's never been the case.
I just think it's usually like just that they overestimated certain things and they implemented them that way, and you know,
Yeah.
the result is the way we see it. Sadly,
So I mean, what I'd like to steer us towards now, and I mean the conversation is phenomenal. But I do wanna I believe that we also wanna open our presence. So I do want to give a little bit of time, Buzz, for you to just demo. If you could just maybe spend 10, 15 minutes just having us have a look at the new UI and everything like that. I know there's a whole bunch of people in chat, I'm assuming, that are chomping at the bit. So. If you do the share screen situation there, then we can.
Well, let me just say, I got somebody posted on Reddit like that. I said it should be live in 1 or 2 days, and then that's 10 days later, and it's still not live. So I'm getting flack on Reddit because it's still not live. But trust me when I tell you,
to be fair, it's Reddit.
That's Reddit.
I've been working on this thing. Like even neglecting my real life work.
No. Anybody is. I'll say it categorically, and I don't aim to speak for anybody, but anybody that's giving you any amount of gaff for this can jump, because, dude, this is a project of love, a passion project for you, and something that you've spent a huge amount of time for. And I'm a big proponent of doing something right instead of doing it fast. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, I really my intention with this app was to really make it a community based, and not only that, but to help everyone, people playing the game, make their builds, share it with their friends, to help content creators have more fun with the game, have better experience connecting with people that are playing Outriders. So this is why I brought in a lot of the new features in it, like the Twitch live streams, being showcased, like, so people who are live streaming the game.
It's like, show us some of that stuff if you don't mind. We can look at some of that. That obviously, Buzz, no pressure. So, Buzz, no pressure. Like, if there's certain things that you don't want to show just yet, obviously, no pressure whatsoever.
It's fine. It's pretty complete. It should launch later this week. It's just missing.
If I do this, sorry, excuse me. I'm trying to get the perfect picture. There we go. Okay, so we're good to go.
So from everything that I'm hearing here, this is going live Friday 9 a.m. Right?
I love it. Get a firm commitment.
What's the day? What's the day? Wednesday.
Never provide a date.
It might happen. It might happen unless the actual real life work gets me. But
I need that grenade sound. Ding, ding,
I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through the idea here. So
sure.
When you launch the app now, like, it gives you like some of the announcements. These announcements up here, they're gonna be more like the announcements relating to the app, something like, that's kind of just ongoing and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. So we have like the debrief now, which you can see like the newer players can come, and use it and see like the guns that they might be missing. It's going to be featuring like randomly a legendary weapon that they can go and explore all the other legendary weapons. They can see some of the locations and the history behind them if they haven't played the original game. There's going to be some news here. This is going to be coming from PCF and from the community, what's happening with the game updates and stuff like that. So you can always kind of glance at if you miss something when you use it. The feature builds here, they're going to be mostly from either like, Square or you guys, or some of the featured builds. They're going to be coming shown every week, like a set of 6.
Nice.
So people can try them out. And then down here, you see like the podcast. This is where the database is just kind of scuffed right now. So, but you can see like this is where the latest podcast. And initially, we created the Voices of Enoch podcast, but I've decided not to do that anymore. It's just very time consuming. So I wanted to kind of leave it up to you guys to do that. So now the Voices of Enoch are going to actually be a list of all the latest episodes from all the community podcasts. Under that segment, instead of me making a podcast or whatever, right? So so that's it. And then we have, this is the live Twitch thing. You can always see people streaming right now. The top 3 people that are streaming, you can see them, and then you can go and visit them on Twitch and watch them. This is kind of my giving back to people who are sticking with Outriders for a while.
Phenomenal,
and
man.
it just kind of keeps featuring them so people can see them and go and watch them and stuff like that, right? So that's that. So we have like now the Outriders tools has been revamped. Now you have you can actually go and see, for example, I can pick level 50 here, just like we used to. But now if I pick let's say right here, I'll just pick this. So when I select the level, it gives you the optimal values here. So like, let's say I'm on a rare, so I'm gonna say 88,000. So now what that does is it gives you the same thing. It tells you whether it's a good roll or not.
That's awesome, man.
That's really
It tells you. It tells you, and also like as soon as you pick the level, it actually gives you optimal values. So
Yeah.
you can immediately, like if I go to level 75. If I get like a blue drop of a gun or for some reason, I know that gun is gonna be an okay roll at 927,000 at level 75.
That's
right?
tight, man. That's really cool.
And also like one of the big things that I've introduced in this version of the app is now you can switch here to and inspect the mods to see their values like at maximum level. So for example, Storm Whip at maximum level. Now my database is behind, so that's what's going to happen is I'm going to kind of when I update, it's going to have calculate. But these values are now calculated dynamically. So based on the value, like, but in this case here, it's just giving you the maximum value for that mod. So you can actually see like what, like, let's say Violent Rupture. Violent Rupture at 75 is going to be 12,500,000, right?
Nice.
So you can kind of see that. You can do that same thing for armor. You can pick the armor, pick the level, see what the armor's good value is. You can check out the mods, what they're gonna come out to. So let's say Bloodlust and stuff like that, and it's gonna give you the values there. So the calculators that are helping you figure out what the maximum value is gonna be, whether you got the good roll or not, to have like a little bit of overamp now, so they give you a little bit more features. So now the real beef here is what happened here is
let's go.
Yeah, so here like we used to have like the way I built it before is you have like I'm not registered now, so I'm coming to the app as a guest, right? So I can now go. And I don't have to register. I can go and I can go and create the build without being registered at all. However, if you don't register, once you hit view and share and you exit out of the build editor, so if I go back, it's gone. Like it doesn't, like the share graphic is still going to be live, but you won't be able to edit it or save it or anything like that, right? So it's like a one-off, right? But if I go and I register here with like Twitter, now like you can see your library, right? So so now I have my library here of the builds that I've created. This is the feature that the original app had. However, now you actually have a feature that you can, let's say I want to pin like all of these builds. Like you can pin these builds to your profile. So now I can go click on a profile. This is my profile right now where I can edit.
Man.
So I can remove the builds. I can unpin it. And what's this pinning and unpinning? So if I go back to my library and I say I pin this build, Technomancer Carnage, and I go back to the profile, right? Now it's going to show up here. But what does this do? If I hit on view profile, this is your public profile now. The builds that you've pinned that you want to share with people, they're showing up here, right? And now for the content, for content creators, I've also created so you can add like your best build videos, right? So when you make a video about the builds and stuff like that, so you can pin like builds here, and then you can have like a YouTube videos about the builds talking about it. And then people can go and see it, right?
I don't mean to pause you, but I have someone asking Birds in chat when you're gonna launch the Destiny 2 version of this app, please.
Yeah, it's just It's just Destiny. It's too overcrowded. There's plenty
I know.
There's
No,
plenty
I'm
of people
amazing
making
with you,
apps for
dude. But
them.
this is phenomenal, man.
So one of the things is also like I've created. So there's a lot of people that I've been with this community for a long time. So there's a lot of people that I know that have stuck with this game.
Mhm.
So we have like now pins. So I'm not an ambassador, but I just changed it to show someone the case. So
Sure.
every time an ambassador registers or someone who is really beneficial to the VIP to the community, those badges will show up, on their profile. So like when you go and see their profile, if they're an Outpost VIP or they're ambassador or whatever, right? And it's kind of so this is a public profile. Now I can go like this is a generic Outpost theme of the
Mhm.
profile. Now I can go to back to my profile. I can change it to let's say Pyromancer.
Oh, like the flavor, right? What your main is.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and like what my main is. So if I go to that and I go view my
Dude, you
profile
picked the right
again,
one there, by the way, baby. Let's go.
yeah. So the Pyromancer is your theme now. So so you can now one of the great things that I've done is you can actually now in the previous version of the app I only had like um a visual that would just render out and you would share that on Reddit or whatever the image, right?
Mhm.
But now what I've done is a lot of people said, well, I can't hover over the nodes in the graphic and see what the nodes in the class trees are or whatever, what they do. I couldn't fully understand what the build does. So now what I've done is I've enabled people to click on your build and go directly into the editor. And then because I own this build, I can edit it. But like if I was an anonymous
Yeah,
or
they
someone
just
else,
have read me access
they're
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be read only. So I could
Yeah.
for example go and examine like tree and go and see my nodes that I've picked, right? And then so just to show you, like this build is actually probably better because this one has everything filled in. So ascension points, you can assign ascension points and even tells you like how many damage and all that stuff it does. So it does the
Oh
same thing
wow.
as it does in the game. So and it can it gives you like all the like now you can hover over and see
Yeah, you can
actually
actually see the
you can
effect, right?
inspect it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so once you're ready and you want to share it on on whatever, like you can change the mods or whatever. I've included a little bit better search and sorting because a lot of people ask for that. So like for example, if I go here, I can share, I can search there by this the mods. I can search by the tiers. The mod, it's smart enough. Like for example, if I pick like the lower gear, it's only gonna give you lower gear. Like it's just gonna you don't get everything like to
Sure.
pollute your stuff. So once you're done with that, now you have two options in the editor. You can click on link right here, and that's gonna copy and paste it in your memory, the URL to the links to the
Sure.
build in the editor, right?
Uh-huh.
But you can also do this. You can hit visual, and then when you hit visual,
You
because
get
now
flashbanged.
Amazon is Amazon is rendering right now. It's fetching all of the build information to
Okay.
render the graphic that we had before. But now we have the
Oh, that's
build.
my
Oh
stuff,
So
dude.
man.
now we have
Look at it.
now we have the now this is an image you can share with people, and it also has like the badges and everything, all that
Oh
stuff,
my
right?
god, dude. This is
So
so crisp.
it picks all that stuff. And so now also one of the things that people ask me is like, can you see if we can see like if the bonus is activated or not? So now you
Yes.
can actually see that the bonus is activated for Borealis. So I picked three sets, and you can see that set bonus is activated.
Yeah.
um so um that's really that's kind of the build for that. And then that's kind of
You have
really
to
it.
you
No,
have to be
no.
careful. You have to be careful, Bozzified. I'm scared people are gonna play in this app more than they're gonna play in the game, dude.
Yeah. So for example,
Someone
like
just made that joke in chat. I didn't mean to steal it.
so for example, like I also like a lot of people did not know in the original app that they can actually upload stuff from the game. So now
Hmm.
if you're using the app, you can hit this button right here, and it's going to tell you how to do it on each platform.
Oh wow.
How to take a screenshot, and basically you just need to take a full screenshot of your inventory screen in the game, and you just upload that image, or you drag it onto this spot right here, and then it's gonna change your transmog and use it from the game, your personal transmog. But also, I've also introduced transmogs from the community and creators. So, for example, I think Buzz sent me one. I didn't put it in the database on this one, but like you can actually, the content creator is gonna have their own like. So I can go and pick like Play-Doh bears or whatever, like right here, and then hold on.
I'm gonna make like the ugliest transmogs ever. I'm gonna be sending them to you, stat.
Okay, there we go. See, like something is. I gotta see why it's not reacting when I tap on this.
Sure.
But right here, so you can, and now you like. Also, one thing that I need to finish today is when you upload an image, right? When you upload an image, so let me see if I can do that. Let me see here, desktop stuff. Let me see here. Okay, let me see if I can find a screenshot from the game. Okay, so I have like a screenshot from the game, and so if I drag it onto this right now, like an image, and if I drag it onto that, like this is underneath, it's processing the image, and it's cutting out the character.
Oh,
right?
Dude.
So and what's gonna happen now is, what I'm gonna do is, if you choose, you see like there's a library here, so that piece is just missing, like it's basically, I have to like, you're gonna show up, it's gonna be your library of your transmogs. So everything you upload, you'll be able to reuse instead of constantly
kind of like a library of all of the ones that you've created, for sure.
Yeah. Exactly. So
100%.
So and that's really that's really that, and
I mean that's and I mean I'm sure that there's a lot. What I do want to do
some of the people, some of the things I didn't like. This is empty right now on the staging environment, but it's done. The armor sets, you're gonna be able to explore all the armor sets, all the legendary weapons, all the locations. There's a lot of things that I wanted to add, but I'm gonna have to add that post launch because
I mean I'm sure that there'll be that it'll continue on afterwards, but I mean first of all, I mean Boz, thank you so much for sharing this with us. I'm sure like a bunch of people in chat are as excited as we are for this. Like I said, I'm probably going to enjoy playing this as much as I enjoy playing the game, and I really enjoy playing the game, so that certainly says something. But at this point in time, I do we have some time commitments in terms of some of us that have to go. So I do want to wrap at this point in time, and it's I'm a little bit sad. I'm going to tell you why though, because I had so many more things I wanted to discuss with the three of you. It's not nearly often enough that we get to do something like this. So if I try to lure you back again at some point, please be gracious enough to give me the opportunity. But I do also at this point in time, I want you guys to just, of course, in the description of this stream, everybody's channels and everything are in there. But I mean, Chaos, what have you got going on? Like when are you streaming? Like what's happening for you in the next week? Like where can we catch you?
So you can catch me on YouTube at youtube.com/chaosprimezyt, and also on Twitch. Thursdays I stream over at Twitch. I'm trying something different on YouTube, where I stream on Saturdays just to please that crowd, because some people don't like to go over to Twitch. So I'm kind of trying something different to please both sides of the coin. So Thursdays over at Twitch at chaosprimezyt again, and obviously YouTube is the same.
Phenomenal. Address. And Buzz, tell me what's happening, baby. What are you playing? What's the plan?
Well, I still dabble into the Division universe.
I know, dude. You're like the last guy, dude. You're gonna have to turn the lights off when you leave, bro.
No, ouch.
Well, are they releasing? Are they releasing version 3?
I mean, like it's like literally the best is saved for last. It's like you're carrying the torch like a fucking like master, dude. So
I found that back in 2015 before they launched in 2016, and I can't pull myself away.
It is a good game, man. It is.
It's been up and down. Ubi kind of needs to decide where they want to take that franchise. Sure. Of course, Outriders. I do some general coverage too, like the day before, if that's ever going to happen and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And probably what a lot of people don't know is I am a huge and used to be a competitive Battlefield player. So.
I know. I have to admit though,
I was a huge
scathing critique of the game because they really screwed the pooch, and
they really did.
I thought you were like on point with a lot of that. So
that one really hurt. But I get over there and get my first person PvP fix over there. 100%. So okay. Stream schedule Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays on Twitch. And then, of course, on YouTube, I guess you could search LtBuzzLiteBeer, like you see on the window, or the LtBuzzLiteBeer is how I did it as well. So,
sure. But those links for anybody that's looking for anybody that for some reason don't know who these fine gentlemen are, their links to their socials are in the description of this as well. Boz, all I can ask you is where do we send the money? Is what I want to know. Like, where's the GoFundMe page?
Well, I don't do this for money though. I mean, there's some people that have donated. There's a button in the app.
Sure.
It's really like it. I never made this to make money. It was more like, but the only thing is, I appreciate any donation just because, like, this thing is costing a lot more than I expected. Like, it's costing like probably $300-400 a month in servers and stuff like that I'm using to render and do all these things. Sure. So I mean, I'm okay financially because I have a good job that I do, but
which anything to do now because you're working so hard on this app.
But it's gonna be very satisfactory to kind of launch this and see people using it. It's just.
So look, everybody in chat, of course, I think it was very impressive what you saw tonight. So Outriders Outpost, and if you feel the need to donate, then obviously do so with fervor because this man has been working hard on this. But with that, I think we'll close the first chapter. You guys have been phenomenal. I really do appreciate you putting the time aside. It's always difficult to pull people together with weird things like time zones and all of that, and we all have ridiculously busy schedules. But I cannot tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if I don't see you again on camera, I'm definitely going to see you on the battlefield. And that's going to be it. Thank you so much. Take care.
See ya.
Fucking cheers.
Bye-bye.